Newcastle United confidential, according to Craig Hope and the Daily Mail. Kieran Trippier is going to be out for with a new injury, as well as we're going to take a look at PIF's new investment in the UK and how that affects Newcastle United. And at the end, we're going to take a look at Newcastle United's response to Manchester City's victory over the Premier League. Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to NFC Talk TV. My name is Chris, the American Mag. As you know already, please hit that like button. Smash the like button right now. Let's get to as many as we can. We got a new news report here. And let's start with the one that people probably want to hear more about, are intrigued on what's going on. And if you already read the report by the Daily Mail, led by Craig Hope, you're going to get an idea of what's going on. But, we can also, if you haven't, take a look at it together. So Sella, the Newcastle United sponsor, has signaled their commitment to the UK market after talks to buy the world-famous Hyde Park Winter Wonderland. They can exclusively reveal, according to the Daily Mail. The Saudi events company, owned by PIF, of course, have been part of a bidding process and held discussions with Royal Parks of London, who founded the event in 2007. Sella were said to be seriously interested in taking over the running of the festival, which attracts about 2.5 million visitors each year, but have now decided to concentrate on other ventures. The UK is a prime market for Sella, and they are looking to invest in and manage live prestigious events with a large traffic in high-profile locations. Winter Wonderland is a prime example of the type of project they want to take on. They currently have managed Boulevard World and Boulevard City in Riyadh, and want to expand internationally, of course. So we can share a little bit. There we go. We can share what's going on as far as this is the article is concerned. This should all come in well. For Newcastle, who signed a multi-year deal worth 25 million per season with Sella last year. The hope is that the club and Sella can grow together and have a mutually beneficial relationship. Increased revenues and profile for Sella can only be good news for Newcastle. So they're saying, watch this space for more news, of course. What does this really mean, though, for Newcastle United? Well, look, it really doesn't mean much. Now, can we say that, is it coincidental that this deal came out and this news came out after what we've experienced with, with the victory of Manchester City, etc.? Can we say that it is coincidental? I don't know. I mean, I don't believe in coincidences much, but so take that with a grain of salt. It doesn't directly affect Newcastle United. They're just invested in another company, invested in future project. So not sure really, but they do have a point there on the article. The more money Sella makes, you can assume that the better Newcastle United will be set up. I always do this. Look, these are individual companies. Although they are owned by PIF, I get it, but they're individual companies that they want to make money for themselves. They want to, the businesses that they do, they need to make sense for themselves. We always tend to look at it from the Newcastle United's perspective, but we kind of got to stop doing that a little bit, because we think what's good for us is great. We got Sella, they make more money. That means they're going to give us money. Not necessarily. If it doesn't make sense for those companies, they don't want to go bankrupt just to benefit a club momentarily or temporarily. It has to make, the business side of things has to make sense for these companies. Sella has given us over 20 million per season for our shirt, to put their brand on our shirt. I guarantee that deal made sense for them as well as it makes sense for us. Although we went for a huge bump. I think we were getting like £7 million on our previous shirt deal, and now we bumped all the way to over 20-something million pounds a year. So that's a great thing for us. Maybe it's a fair deal nonetheless, and it can go up possibly in the next years to come. But it had to also make sense for the company that's paying us. If it does, they're not just going to give us money just because we are Newcastle United and they own us or they own the club. Certainly it would make sense for them to make to have business to make businesses with us to come and sponsor us, because essentially the money stays within the same ownership, so that makes sense. However, the amount, it has to make sense for them to be able to pay. They're not going to go bankrupt, they're not going to go broke just to benefit us. So it has to make sense, and I want people to understand that. Although we can say Aramco has so much money, and I do agree they make so much money, but we are assuming that they're going to come and sponsor the stadium, the new stadium, and they're going to give us all this money. But again, it has to make sense for these businesses to do that. So, I want people to understand that. But we will see how this develops and how this affects Newcastle United in the long run. As far as right now, nothing really, it doesn't affect us in any way, shape, or form. So let's move on with the injury update. And Trippier is injured, ladies and gentlemen. So Newcastle are said to be without Kieran Trippier for at least the next few weeks. Newcastle has revealed, or the Daily Mail has revealed, that the defender was replaced in the 71st minute of Saturday's goalless draw against Everton. There was no confirmation of an injury after the game whatsoever, so this has been kept very quiet. But the Daily Mail understands that a hamstring strain will keep Trippier out for the weekend's match against Brighton the following week. So you still got time to recover, even if you missed that one. There could be a possibility that he can come back for the other one. It's hard to know, to be honest, at this point. But it's just another injury, and it's going to be. We got Tino Livramento there, so you can say that we are covered. However, it is a fresh, it is an injury blow nonetheless, because Trippier was doing good. He was doing good, and the fact that now this comes in, and it's kind of a setback. But we hope that Trippier will come with the right mentality, and he will be all right for the next for the next games to come, for the next weeks to come. But on some good news, though, as far as injuries is concerned, according to the Daily Mail, Alexander Isak, Callum Wilson are on track to return against Brighton next Saturday. Eddie Howe said at the weekend that there was no guarantee the pair would be fit for the first game after international break. However, the Daily Mail is reporting that there has been no setbacks, and as it stands right now at this moment, and let me just rephrase that, as it stands right now, they should be back by the Brighton match. So they will train in the build-up to when we receive Brighton at home, and should be part of the squad. So as we know, Wilson suffered a back injury at the start of the preseason, has not played since, not one single minute in the season right now, and Alexander Isak has a toe problem that should be he should be able to play by then. On another injury update, Sven Botman, is obviously a player that everybody wants to see with Newcastle United shirt in this season. Horrible injury that he had, and now he's working his way back. The Dutch defender has teased some images on social media last week, hinting that a return could be close. He has been sidelined since March after a knee surgery. However, Botman's scheduled comeback remains at best sometime in December. So don't get your hopes up. It looks like the man will still be out for a while. I mean, just because you see him training or running or moving his leg quickly doesn't mean that he's ready for high performance sport, especially a contact sport like football is. So just keep that in mind. It is what it is, and so we just have to be patient. On the last but not least, the Tunes reaction to the City Lawyers win, or the City's win over the Premier League. I've been saying this, and we said it yesterday on the late night show. Newcastle United are very much spectators in this thing. I don't think I think Newcastle United could sue the Premier League and could beat the Premier League, because what they've done is outrageous. What they've done is unbelievable. However, I don't think that's the approach that Newcastle United want or will have um, They won't do that. So I think they're just watching and seeing, and if they're allowed to do something, they will do it as far as sponsorship is concerned. But I don't think at this point in time that Newcastle United will whatsoever get involved in any legal and anything like that. I don't think it's going to happen. Um, Now, on the subject of club sponsors, we should not expect Newcastle to announce a vastly inflated deal with Saudi company in light of this week's revelations concerning the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, according to the Daily Mail. We've seen Mike Keegan report on that as well, and everything else. But uh, Newcastle are keeping a watching brief and are waiting to see how the new rules and their amendments look. It is also stressed that at no point have Newcastle and their Saudi owners wanted to manufacture deals way above market value in order to get around PSR, says the Daily Mail. That's an obvious thing to say because, I mean, it would be illegal to do otherwise. But it's good to report anyway. So but it is what it is. I mean, we can't deny that this week's developments will no doubt be welcomed by Newcastle and make the mechanics of such deals easier to navigate in the future. There's no suggestion of great sums of money suddenly being pumped into the club. So it's as simple as that is. I'm not saying don't get your hopes up, but it is what it is. I mean, we can't just invent this massive deal. I know the mighty win. Our beloved colleague was saying that he wants us to get something done this week because they won't be able to get us on it. Come on, we can't do none of that. We got to think with our heads, and it's one of those things. Unfortunately, we have to wait and see what happens in the weeks to come. Anyways, thank you so much for your support. Please smash the like button if you like this informative report. And if you want more, I will leave the link of this article in the description, in the pinned in the chat or in the description, so you can go and take a look at it and take a full read of what's going on. Don't forget, you can become a member if you want, for exclusive content and also back scenes and behind the scenes stuff and giveaways and all of that. So, but smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. I will see you folks on the next one. Bye bye.